Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Nancia Leath, and I'm so excited about this episode for Raw Stories. We have two amazing women who thrive that's going to tell you about their life as well as what they're doing. The first young lady I have, she's from Trinidad, and her name is Dr. Ayanna. Come on, Dr. Ayanna. How are you, doctor?
I am well, Nancia. Thank you so much for having me.
I
And
am
I'd
so
like to
happy
say
you're here.
hi to all your viewers, listeners,
I,
wherever they may be.
I am so happy you're here. What time is it there in Trinidad?
It is 8:01 p.m.
Oh, PM. Okay, perfect. So we're in the same time zone. Awesome. Wow. So tell us a little about yourself.
Okay, so I am 32 years old, so I'm kind of young still, right?
Yeah.
I am by profession an educator, a coach, and a mentor,
Mhm.
but I wasn't always there, obviously. So, um, when I was younger, I remember when I lost my dad at age 16.
Okay.
Before that, everything was pretty okay, you know.
Mhm.
Lost my dad at age 16, and then I started to, like, immediately I got rebellious.
Okay. Okay.
I immediately got rebellious. I am ashamed to say right now, but I gave my mom some trouble, but that's all part of my story. That was being
That's
rebellious.
right. Hmm.
So, I gave so much trouble. My mom said she wasn't going to send me to university, and I had to literally beg to go to university. And it so happens that while I was at university, I got saved in my first year of university. When
Wow.
everybody was expecting that things would get worse, I got
Okay.
saved in my first year of university, and from then my life story began to change. So throughout my life, even in university, I experienced
Mhm.
successes and failures and all of that, but I always had a desire to strive for excellence. I always had a desire as well to just go to the highest level in terms of studying. I like to study, but there were successes and there were failures. So after university, for some reason, I kept getting jobs
Okay.
with respect to teaching only. Like I would try getting other jobs, but it was always along the line of teaching. And I was like, okay, so my mom is a teacher, my sister is a teacher. Why do I have to be a teacher, too, right? So I got a lot of jobs in terms of just teaching, and I only realized recently in starting up my business that that was also a part of the story. So over the years,
Mm.
I've used my experiences, good and bad, to try to mentor persons because I was involved in some mentoring, one-on-one mentoring at my alma mater as well. So
Mhm.
everything just circled in such a way that it led me to this point of being a coach and an educator and a mentor. But I guess I could stop there for now, unless you want me to go now into how the business started, or I don't know
I'll
if you
ask
have
you a
that
few
as
more
a
questions before how your business started, but that is, we're going to get there, I promise. With
okay.
that, I think you said something about as a child, you had behavior issues. And now that you are a teacher, and well, as well as a mentor, how will you help a child that has behavior issues and may have difficulties with chemistry? I know you focus on chemistry, different sciences. How were you able to help a child?
Okay. You were breaking up there a little bit, but I'm thinking you're asking me how was I able to help children while I was in the school system as a teacher?
Well, that's good too. But no, I was saying, how are you able to help a child that may have behavior issues?
How would I be able to presently? Well,
Mm-hmm.
that's the entire thing. You see, because I have experiences, I would be able to level with them one on one. And sometimes, a lot of people they may want to lecture you based on what they think you should do and what they think you shouldn't do. Yes, you should do this, but why should you do this? My thing is, my approach is you share your experiences, you share your I know there is a thing out there that coaches don't tell their stories, But honestly, I don't subscribe to that. Because if I'm coaching you, I want you to know that just as you are in this place, right? I have been there too. And that is not the best place. I could share my experiences as to, what happened to me when I took certain approaches. And I could also share with them how I got out, how I broke through those situations and those circumstances to get to a better place, the place that I am
Mhm.
right now. So to just sum it up, my answer would be I use my experiences. I like to share my experiences. A lot of people would be ashamed of their experiences, but I mean, if any man is in Christ, he's a new creature.
Right,
So all things have passed away. There is no
right.
shame because I'm no longer there anymore. I'm no longer at that place. So I use my experiences and also, of course, a measure of understanding and love. All
Mhm.
those things are important ingredients in the coaching process to take a child or a teenager or a young adult from a place, an unfavorable place in their lives, to a more positive place. So experiences, love, and yeah,
I love
availability,
it.
all those things. They should be able to know that they have a listening ear and someone who is understanding and who will not condemn them. Because
Mhm.
even I mean, I spoke about my past experiences, but even as a coach, the reality is a lot of coaches also pretend like they're perfect. I'm not that type of coach. I will tell you, I still have issues that I need
Mhm.
to work through. And so
Mhm.
I remind children that you don't need to be perfect to be amazing. Just today, I was giving some children that affirmation. You don't have to be perfect to be amazing. And that
Mhm.
makes a difference as well, you know.
Got it. So, what age group do you coach or mentor? What's your age group?
So, I work with children from basically the age of 5. So those
Okay.
in primary school, secondary school as well, so teenagers, and then young adults, early 20s, mid 20s. Yeah, that's
Oh,
the age group that I have been working with over the years, and that's the age group I believe God has led me to work with. Yeah.
right. Got it. And so, even with that, and I love that statement that we just had, Tanji just posted. She talked about how sharing your experiences with people is very important. I totally agree with her. Um, when you do work with a child, those different ages, what conflicts do you have when you are working with them?
Could you clear up that a little bit?
Not sure, Ken. I understand.
Yeah.
If When you are working with children and they have different conflicts, they have different conflicts. How do you handle the conflicts that you may have if a child, for an example, if a parent bring a child to you for services,
Right.
and they do not want the services, how are you able to help that child?
If the child doesn't want the service,
Right.
well, honestly speaking, I have never really, because it's still a young business, so
Okay.
I haven't had that experience, to be honest. The children that I have been working with thus far, they have all been receptive, but I get that that will not always be the case. Okay,
Right.
but what I do think, to be quite honest, is you could only help someone who wants to be helped, and at the level of the child, they may not have that understanding. Okay, that I may need help. So again, the approach should be one of love, one of openness, one of understanding toward them, and I guess maybe with time they would open up. But if someone really doesn't want to work with you, they just don't want to work with you. You
Right.
can't win them all, and sadly, but you can't win them all.
I
You know.
love it. I love it. That's a good answer. That's good. I love that response. I love your authenticity. Can you tell us how did you start your business?
Okay. Yes, I can. ah, and because I value honesty, so here's the real on how I started my business. So, like I told you, I didn't realize that all of this was being orchestrated um, from years and years ago. But
Mm-hmm.
I finished my PhD in 2018, and even before I finished my PhD, I started to look for jobs because that's just why I'm proactive. So I started to look for jobs even before I submitted my dissertation. And I remember I graduated, I defended successfully. I graduated in November of 2018, all the while still looking for jobs. And then I realized, okay, I'm not getting any calls for interviews. I'm qualified. I know these are jobs, these jobs that I'm vying for, I'm sending in applications for. I know that I can do these jobs. My resume speaks for itself, and I'm not even getting calls to come for an to come for an interview. So I'm like, what's going on? And I applied for so many jobs. To be honest, I lost count. And even between then, I had been receiving prophecies in terms of you would start businesses, you would be working in children's ministry, which to some extent I was already doing. And then last year, November, yes, on November the 14th last year, I remember being in a place of frustration where I was like, God, I don't know what is going on. I have applied for so many jobs, nothing is coming my way. I said, okay, let me just change my prayer. So I decided rather than praying for a job, I said, God, if the delay in getting a job is you telling me that you want me to start my business, then I really need you to give me a business idea. And I even was a lot more specific than that. I even said, God, but it needs to be a business idea where it doesn't require a lot of capital because I've been living off my savings for close to, well, over a year, about a year and a half. I was living on my savings, so it was being depleted. So I needed a business idea that didn't cost much to execute. And so I prayed that prayer. I went about my day as normal. And later in the night, jumped into bed, turned off the lights to sleep. And I remember what I prayed the morning. I just picked up my phone and I literally Googled business ideas you could start with little capital. And I started to scroll. There was so many ideas coming up. I started to scroll and nothing was jumping out to me. And then suddenly I saw online courses, online tuition, and ideas just started to flow. It was like a flood, literally like a floodgates of ideas was opened up on me. So I started to take notes on my phone as to the vision. God started to expose what the vision for the business would be. So I started to take notes, went to sleep, got up the next morning, and for days, ideas were just flowing out of me. And that was the genesis of the business. So, yeah.
Wow, wow. So basically, it's more of a faith. You approach this by more of a faith approach because of lack of job. However, now you started your own business, even if God even gave you prophecies. And I love that how you brought that out because people need to hear that when God prophesied to you, it may not come like you think it would come. However, sometimes we have to be forced to take those steps. But since you've been doing that, do you feel that has it been hard or has it been easy doing this coaching business?
It's not. Uh, it's not always easy. No, it isn't,
Mm-hmm.
because even though, yes, it was a business that required little capital, and even though I do love what I do,
Mm-hmm.
and also even though I am using like past experience and all of those as an educator, having been a former
Mm-hmm.
teacher, it's still difficult simply because of all the new experiences and all the new things that a business owner has to do. So while I was an educator before, yes, I have that covered. But with respect to just keeping up with all the different things that a business owner has to do, wearing all the different hats, being a marketing person for your business, being PR, being HR, being all these different things, it is a struggle for me sometimes, to be honest, and it's something that I'm still getting used to. Because, for example, something as simple as posting on social media every day, uh, I find that challenging.
That make a
You
lot of
know,
sense.
yeah.
Wow. Mm. And even with that, even when is it hard to gain clients? How do you gain your clients in that type of business?
Okay, so I have my first set of clients now. Um, Actually, I had planned something earlier for this year, which was a physical camp. That's part of my offering vacation camps, but I had to cancel due to COVID-19. But I do have a website and stuff, and there's also Zoom. So a lot of the activities that could have been done online, I decided to do them online instead. One of my friends actually gave me the idea, and I was like, why didn't I think of that? So in order to get the clients, I actually used one-on-one, you know,
Mm-hmm.
one-on-one discussions with them, promos and stuff. I used social media, right? I use social media. I did it organically, but then there were times that I also did a few Facebook boosts, and then I also did some radio ads. That's basically, yeah.
And so,
So
how is your business going now? How is it going now?
not too bad.
Okay.
Sometimes the reality is because I am a person kind of like a perfectionist, which is bad sometimes, but also because I have like a real intense drive to succeed and to see things take place. Sometimes I have to remind myself that Ayana, your business is only how much months? So it's not even a year yet because
Wow.
the other day I was really bummed out and I was down on myself because I'm like, why am I not seeing certain things happening? And then when I checked it, it was around April. And I
Okay.
only got the business idea in mid November. I only registered the business in February. I
Wow.
did a lot between November when I got the idea and April. So it felt like a longer period of time than it actually was. And I was kind of coming down on myself. And I had to remind myself, no, your business is still young. You need to give it time, you know? So, yeah.
This is so good because I want you to know you are encouraging a lot of women that
Yeah.
are starting businesses and they're their first phase and they're feeling, I don't know. I could say that's when I was talking with her people that I was coaching and she started a business and she was feeling the idea of feeling like a failure. However, and when she got to see the different things that she was able to accomplish, the same thing you was able to do, it gives you hope. So if a person is watching right now and they have decided to start their own business because of what's life, threw at them, how will you encourage them today?
I would encourage you and tell you from my own experience. There goes again my own experience because I could only share from my experience. Some days you'd feel broken. You will. It will come. I think that's for the majority of business owners. Some days you'd feel, even established ones. Some days you'll feel broken. Some days you'll feel discouraged. Some days you may even feel disappointed because you thought you were going to make a sale and you didn't make the sale. Stuff like that has happened to me as well in that short space of time. But even when you do feel like that, you need to push. You need to keep pushing. Do not quit for any reason at all. Please do not quit. Sometimes when we're about to quit, the breakthrough is just at the end of you saying, no, I'm walking away. So, whatever you do, don't quit. Put in the work. I'm a woman of faith, and I do believe strongly in the principle of sowing and reaping. So, yeah, it's a law. So, if you do sow that hard work, God has to come through.
Yeah.
It's a law.
Mhm.
It's a law. So just don't quit. I would also say you need to have, even if it's one or two people in your corner, because those days, trusted people, yeah, you don't have to have many. One or two is enough. Moses only had Aaron and her, and that was enough, right? So you need people who can stand by you to lift up your hand when you're getting weary, and just find one or two people. So on those days when you just really can't, they could speak into you as well. So those are two definite pieces of encouragement that I would give.
Wow, that is awesome. That is so good.
And
Go ahead.
I will be writing a book soon to
Yeah.
help. Yeah, I would be helping. I'll be writing a book pretty soon. And this came out of prayer too. One day I was in prayer and I just got an idea to write a book to help encourage business owners or anybody who is building anything. Could be an NGO or anything of the sort. So I'm looking really forward to getting that done quickly because I know a lot of people need it.
Yes, 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 that is so good. Many people need it, especially when entrepreneurs are starting off. You see a lot of books about what to do, to help you start a business or what
Yeah,
you do when you want to reach this or manifestation and all this kind of stuff, but
yeah,
don't talk about the stress and the
yeah,
frustrations, the
yeah,
anxiety, the fears that people may
yeah.
address when they're starting a new business. So I'm thank you for your transparency. That's one of the reasons why we don't give
Yes,
questions ahead. We want this
and
real,
yeah,
which is good.
yeah, and it would definitely be based on the word of God and the principles of the word of God. So,
Yeah.
because that's the best help we could have. It has everything that we need for life and godliness, including business ownership. So,
Mm,
yeah.
that is so good. What did it feel like when you had your first client?
Like, yes.
Yes.
It felt like yes. And let me tell you why it felt like yes.
Hmm.
Because I was putting in so much work
Hmm.
on this online camp by faith.
Hmm.
And I really wasn't seeing, even with all the promo that I was doing, I really wasn't seeing the
Hmm.
clients come in.
Hmm.
And then the first client, or first set of clients, I should say, came after I did a radio interview. And as soon as I hung up the phone started to ring. And before I was finished with that call, the phone started to ring again. And I had to ignore calls and call people back. I was like, yes. Thank you,
Yes.
Lord. Now, I would admit I still don't have a lot of clients yet, but I am thankful for the small mercies. If we be, faithful in the little, then God will expand and give us more. So I am
Yes.
the few that I am teaching right now. I'm teaching like if I'm teaching a lot,
That's
But
good.
I was really appreciative and grateful that at least even though I was doing all of this hard work, it wouldn't go in vain in the sense of you prepare a course and then you have nobody to teach. It makes no
Mhm.
sense. So I was really glad.
That is awesome. Wow. And I just think about, you said the word yet. I don't have a lot of clients yet. And I'm glad you said yet because there's power in your words. It's
Yes.
power, power in your words. So I'm glad you said yet because in the future, you decree and declare you're going to have many clients and they're going to be
Too
running
many,
your
too
schools. Going to
many
be,
to handle. I'll have to refer them.
yes,
I
that's.
may refer some to you.
Oh, no, no. I work with the kids, Rebecca. So you can, I work
Well,
with kids in a different way. Yeah, I do more
I'd
mental
have to
health.
refer them to somebody.
Yeah, you're right. Yes, yes. I do more mental health therapy, but yes, I.
Okay.
Yes. But the good thing is too, I'm so excited. I love these. I love these comments. You all keep pouring them in. Keep pouring them in because I'm just reading them. Yes, God is good. The idea of when you first got your first client, what do you do to help you maintain that encouragement? So, for an example, what I do with my clients when I'm trying to motivate them and encourage them to help them get from that fear of it not happening again, you know, what can you do? And I'm just asking you because I'm setting a way to also encourage you to do this as well. What can you do when you're in those moments that no clients are coming in? You
Hmm.
know, do you think it's possible to feel what you just felt? That excitement you just gave when you felt that first client. Do you feel like you can feel that feeling every day, or do you, or is it difficult to feel that feeling when you think clients are not coming? Please be honest.
Yeah, oh, it's difficult. It's
Mhm.
difficult. It's difficult. Um, Especially if you know that you did something before and you got clients and you're not
Mhm.
getting clients like running to your service or to your product, and especially if you know you have a good product or a good service and you know what you're about,
Mhm.
yeah, you would feel a little discouraged. You would probably even question yourself in those days, probably even want to quit.
It's good.
But you know, I still need to hold on to God. I still need to be encouraged. One thing I forgot to mention, my PhD is actually in entrepreneurship.
Okay.
So, yeah, entrepreneurship and commercial studies. So, while I was doing my PhD, I actually researched for my dissertation how entrepreneurship, small business entrepreneurship in particular, affects the quality of life of small business entrepreneurs, right?
Mm.
And so I did questionnaires, but even before I did the questionnaires, I did as many as 20 interviews, in depth interviews. So even that was preparing me somewhat because I was hearing a lot of experiences. So I knew too, to some extent, what to expect. Of course, you're thinking, you're hoping you would be the exception to the rule because they all spoke about the struggle being real, and many of them even spoke about wanting to quit. Because sometimes I remember, in particular, these interviews were done in 2014, and I remember distinctly one person actually said, she had a particular period of time where she wasn't getting clients at all. She would get a client, let's say January, 1 February, and then March, April, May, June, July, nothing. And it's like August was when the next one would come. And she still held on. So if she could hold on, why can't I? You know?
Wow,
Yeah.
that's good. That's good. That's good. Like I love the idea. Now you went through the school and now you experiencing, which is also helping you that life experience, which
Yeah.
is amazing. And right now we're going to bring closure to your interview. And
Yeah.
before we bring closure,
Already.
oh, it's going by so
I'm
fast.
just having so much fun with you.
I enjoy you, Donna. You are amazing. Tell them,
Thank you.
tell them exactly how you help people and how you want to help more people.
Okay, so I guess the best way for me to do this is to talk about exactly what I offer. So, as I said before, or as was established, I work with children, teenagers, and young adults. And what I do or seek to do is to expose them to a broad and balanced curriculum. Simply meaning, I try to develop them in terms of academics and non-academics. So on the academic side, we're big on after school lessons in Trinidad and Tobago. So I have done that personally on a one-on-one. But last year, when the business idea came, it was all to kind of like, put it online. This was even before COVID happened, to put stuff online so that I could expand my reach. So on the academic side, that's what I do. On the non-academic side, I do character and values coaching. I do life skills mentorship. I do keynote and motivational speeches and vacation camps. But all of what I do is aimed at holistic development, because I once heard a really true saying that you don't allow your schooling to get in the way of your education. And a lot of times we allow our schooling to get in the way of our education, or that of our children. So basically, how I try to help others is to not just focus on the academics, that's really, really important. But if they are not holistically developed, then they could go into a workplace, and if they are not trained in areas such as simple areas like values and characters, they don't develop things like integrity. Yes, they could get a really high position in an organization, and then they could make certain mistakes or bad choices, and they could fall just as easily. So I really try to help others by just developing them holistically in any and every way that I could. Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much. Please know we enjoy you today. And the last question, I know I already asked this question, but I want people that just came in, let them know the age group that you mentor or you coach.
So I coach children, teens, and young adults, and I do it from the age of 5. So I work with children who, are just entering primary school, so the age of 5. and I go all the way up to say mid 20s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much.
And
Anything
that's
you
for now. There's more to come because I would eventually, based on my qualifications, be doing business coaching as well. But that's I need to establish and see this business through,
Mhm.
to allow it to develop and grow and thrive, and then I would, So I'm just focusing right now on that.
Wow. Well, we want the best for you, Dr. Ayanna. And we're so thankful that you did come. I think for someone just want to say thank you, Dr. Frederick. Oh, love the interview. Yes. Your energy. I love what someone said. Love your energy. Yes. It's
Thank
just
you so much. I'm
right.
just glad to be here because since we're being real, this interview almost didn't happen.
Right. We're like we were fighting. Fighting to have this interview.
I had to rush to get ready, like yeah. But I'm really glad it did take off. Yeah.
I'm so happy too because I honestly believe your interview encouraged a lot of people because a lot of people are going through what you talked about and being able to articulate in a way for people to relate as well as feel as well as be encouraged not to give up and keep going regardless of what you're feeling. And
Yeah.
seeing your smile when you spoke about your first client, you have no idea, it just brightened up this whole screen. And so in my heart is that you continue to feel that, and I promise you, the more you do feel that when you have those tough days, think about that first client and believe that you're going to feel it. And that probably it encourage you. And it usually when you feel that, believe it, so it will come to you. Just another principle. But and I'm so happy. I'm so happy that you are here. And I want to interview again. Know that, especially I'm saying about. I would love to interview you next year at the same time to see where you are.
No problem because I'm giving myself. I'm going to be accountable to you. So
Yes,
next year, by this time, my book should be finished.
yes,
I
yes.
am putting that deadline on myself.
Oh, I'm excited about that. Oh my God, that is good. That is good. So we will stay in touch, Dr. Yana. You my friend now. You hear that? You might.
Yes, always happy to make new friends, especially in the kingdom. So,
Yes. So
yeah,
it's an honor to meet you, and I enjoy this time with you.
likewise,
Thank you so
likewise.
much for being a part of Raw Stories.
Thank you so much for having me.
It was an honor. Wow, that was an amazing story with Dr. Ayanna. Our next guest, she's amazing as well. She's a woman who thrives, and we're excited because we have a partnership with her. And I want to bring Miss Kim on. Come on, Miss Kim! Woo!
Hello.
How are you?
Dr. Ayanna was hard to follow behind, though. Wow.
Don't worry, you just be yourself, honey. That's what counts. That's why it's called Raw Stories.
Exactly, exactly.
So tell us a little about yourself.
Okay, so I'll start. I have a master's in digital storytelling from Loyola, University of Chicago in Chicago. To go back, I didn't realize I had the passion to write until I was an adult. In fact, I wasn't big in reading and writing. I didn't have enough confidence to think that I can do it myself until I met my best friend, and she's a poet. And she would just write and write and write. And she told me, she was like, you can do this. And I tried it and I loved it. And so since then, I've been doing some form of writing probably for like 20 years. And so that kind of triggered me into attending Loyola and driving 2.5 hours every week from my hometown of Peoria to get my master's degree.
Wow. And I love what you said. You started off. You said your friend. That's very
Mhm.
important because Dr.
Yes.
Ayanna said the same thing. Her friend gave her idea concerning the
Hmm.
Zoom. You had a friend to encourage you. That's a real
Yeah.
friend, not to give
Hmm.
up, which is
Yeah.
amazing. So thank you for pointing that out. With that, by
Mhm.
gaining your master's and doing storytelling, what are you doing now with that?
Well, with that, since COVID-19, I've always wanted to do a series called When Sunday Comes. And the series is I envisioned it being about a church and the people in the church, but at the same time, keeping Christian values at the
Mm,
center of it and
mhm,
not becoming so commercialized that it loses the spirit of God in the center of it. And so when COVID started, that was the perfect opportunity because um, I didn't have to gather everybody in one place. I was able to use Zoom and different things to record in. What was one of the coolest parts is that I asked someone to hold me accountable. So I asked another friend, I said, hey, I want to write this, but I know me. And if I don't have someone to be accountable to, I'm not going to do it. So I just asked her, hey, can you stay on me so that I write these scripts like I need to? And so that's when Sunday Comes actually became a reality.
Wow. And tell them more about When Sunday Comes, because some people not even ever heard of it. So tell them, what is Sunday Comes? What is that?
When Sunday Comes, it's a web series, Christian web series, and it tells the story of Pastor Charles, who is leading his ministry through COVID and through not having services. And what that means. How are you a church when you can't gather? Because we've always learned, in our experiences, that church happens in the building. And so this is really looking at, no, church happens here. And it doesn't matter if the doors of the church are closed. Church is here. Your church family is here. And so it's designed to explore those relationships in the church between the pastor and his wife, and between other members of the church and each other, and to still remind you that even in the midst of all we have going on with COVID, that God is with us. He's not surprised by any of this stuff. And that in this, we're all going to come out on a different level. It's not the 2020 we thought we were going to have. And that's okay, because we apparently were making the wrong plans anyway. And God is saying to us, hey, this is the 2020 I designed for this world. And a lot of things are changing in it. And so When Sunday Comes is just a reflection of that, of us, learning how to still have faith in the midst of all this chaos that's going on. So it's been on Facebook, and I have it on YouTube as well.
Wow, that's good to know. It's on YouTube and Facebook. So with the progress, how has it impacted people so far?
So I've had a lot of, it started out, this is what discouraged me. And I told my husband as soon as it happened, because I too ran Facebook ads, and I was just doing general ads. And the first 2 sets of comments I got were total negative. Like, why do you have this kind of stuff out there? That's not a real God. Stop feeding people lies. Those were the first comments that I got. And I was like, what did I just get myself into? Because these people aren't seeing it.
Right.
And my husband was like, don't worry about them. Just keep pushing. And then as the episodes started coming and people started to see them, I started seeing people hearing stories of how it's helped them through some hard times. And, even some of the actors in it share that the characters reflect some of the things that they're going through. And I'm like, God gives me all of these stories, all of these words. I sit here and literally just type out the script in the office, and I have no idea how it's going to connect with somebody. And it has. But a big lesson I learned from those initial comments was like, don't let, the devil's going to pop up when there's something that's supposed to be being done. So he popped up real quick, because I was like, I don't know about this.
Right.
But I'm like, I just held on, and we kept producing, and the team that I have of actors and my support team and my family and friends have continued to be there and encouraged me to push through and push forward, because there is a plan for When Sunday Comes.
Oh, I love it. So how did you go about finding the actors and actress? I'm like, wow, during that time.
Well, this is what I did. I recorded, and I'm not a in front of the camera person. And so I'm so used to being behind the camera. That's what I do part-time too, is I do videography work and podcasting for a Christian organization in South suburban Chicago suburbs. Okay. And so I'm so used to being behind the camera, but I needed people to help me make this a reality. So I made a video, and I said, hey, this is what I want to do. It's called When Sunday Comes. And if you're an actor, think you're an actor, want to be an actor, contact me. And that's how I got people. And a lot of them are friends and families and people I didn't know that I was connected with through other people. And with it being remote, it's been perfect, because we're all doing it from our homes.
Wow.
So that's how I was able to cast all the roles for When Sunday Comes.
So basically, you don't have to create the scenes, the background. You don't have to pay all of that. So they just use their homes and different things,
Yeah.
and it's so reality. Because I watched them, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm like, this is really good. And I went, I like your page, and I wait for the next one, and people on Raw Story, I know you showed the same one, and when you talk on the show, and I'm like, oh yes, but but it's very creative. You all have to go to her Facebook page because you can see a lot of the series on your first page.
Yeah.
What do you want to accomplish though at the end? What's your main goal? What was what's your main goal at the end of the day?
At the end of the day, it's ministry, because we're all having a hard time, and our hard times look different based on where we are. And so that's why each episode is they're connected, but at the same time, you can watch them independently and still get a message. And so even if it just impacts one person on their faith journey, then it's done what it needs to do. It's 12 episodes, and we just finished and posted the last episode on Sunday. And so we've done 12 weeks basically of episodes, and it's just been amazing. And I just so appreciate everyone who's been involved, because they're giving of their time. It's not like this is a paid. It will be a paid opportunity.
Come on now, you better say it.
But at this point, it's not paid, and they've given hours upon hours of their life to bring these characters to life. And they did so much just to watch my words come to life on screen, when they really connected with their characters and they started like, hey, we have your words, but this is how I feel I'm being led to say that. That to me was the true beauty of it.
Wow.
Because they owned it and they just took these characters to different levels.
And how will you encourage another person that may want to do the same thing or similar to what you're doing? How would they start off doing that?
Right. That's even, you have to prioritize. God gives us giftings, and they sit in us our entire lives, but we have to choose to actually work in them on a regular basis. And so if you want to write something, write. Find someone who's going to hold you accountable. A friend, that friend does not have to be a writer. Just somebody that's going to check in on you and say, hey, did you write today? 5 minutes, 3 minutes, write a quick sentence, something in your day, so that eventually all of those parts are going to add into your vision. It's going to come to reality. It's going to be what you want it to be, what you envisioned it becoming.
Wow. So after you write, what will be the second thing they need to do?
You know what? That's a good question. After, if you're doing a play, after you've written it, I would have someone else, because that's what I have my accountability coach too, just to get feedback. And I don't look at it as sometimes we look at feedback as a negative thing, and it's not. If you really want to be better at what you're doing, look at feedback as input. And this is input that's going to help you improve your gift. So have someone read it, but be open to receive what they have to say about it. Don't get defensive about it, because it's your baby and it is your baby. But God can give them insight too, in ways that can take this to the next level. And you have to be willing to hear it and not take offense to it.
That's good. So the first thing is you have right, and then your accountability person to keep you consistent. What will be the third thing you recommend?
The third thing, then walk toward it. Figure out what actions you have to do to produce your production, whatever it is. This door just opened up with COVID, and it sounds weird saying it was a blessing, but if COVID hadn't come, I don't think I would have written it yet. So because COVID is here, and I'm like, okay, I don't have to coordinate everybody's schedule and figure all this stuff out and get a location for us to meet. Our locations are in our living room. So when you're ready to move forward with it, just do that. Act on it. Take it. Have enough confidence in your gift to put the work in it to make it happen.
Oh, I love it. So you gave them 4 steps. First is right. Number two, get accountability. Accountability.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And what was number three? Make sure I remember.
3 was have someone. Well, 3 was to have someone read it. Yeah, yeah. There's an accountability and someone reviewing it. That can be 2 different people.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily have to be the same person, but you need to get feedback from people.
Got it. And then the last one is take steps. Just do it.
Steps. Do it. Yep.
Execute. I love it. I love it. And with your life, I know you said something earlier, because now we're going to talk more personally about you, because it's a reason why we do stories. You said your security level, you said you didn't know if you were secure to even do it. Tell us a little about who you was before your friend encouraged you to do it. Why did you was secure in doing it?
Right. Because I never, I didn't think I was good enough. Basically, I was the root of it. It's like, that the fear of rejection stopped me from trying. And so I was in I'm thinking probably mid-20s.
Okay.
I would have thoughts in my head, like I would start reading her poetry and I'm like, oh, she is good. I remember we were at work and she had brought a poem in and I'm like, wow, she is so good. Her name is Angela, by the way, and she plays Grandma Rice in the production. But she was just amazing. And so I looked at that and I was like, no, I can't. It was me. Like I kept stopping myself from doing it. And so finally I got enough confidence in myself to write my first poem.
Okay, let's stop right there before you go. You said I got enough confidence. How did you get that confidence?
You know what? I think it was just, I think I was just tired of being afraid is what it was.
That's good.
I just was at a point where it's like, if I don't say it, who else is going to say it? And if this is meant to bless somebody, why am I keeping this in?
I love it.
So, I shared it. La Angela and Georgia were the first 2 people that I shared my first poem with. And they were like, they loved it. And I'm like, no, they're just saying that because they're my friends. Still not confident.
Right.
They're just saying that because they were my friends. And so I started showing it to other people in the office and they liked it. And so finally it started to click in me like, okay, maybe there's something here. Maybe I can write. And at that time, again, it's been probably like 20 years ago, but eventually those first 3 poems, I was able to sell them to a company and they put them on canvas and they sold them nationwide.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I designed everything and they put it together and put it on canvas and they were doing home shows of art and my poetry was being sold around the country. So that came from somebody who was afraid. But did it anyway.
I love it. These type of conversations encourage. Like I love with Dr. Ayanna as well as your story is like if you have something inside of you, what inside of you and fear, you think you're not good enough or you think rejection. Yes, she had rejection in the beginning. Your first 2 comments was 2 people that rejected.
Yeah.
But I love how God already has someone assigned to encourage you, your husband. He spoke life. So, so and now you made it all the way to 12 weeks.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
So basically, you have people, and I love you start off saying my friend and one encouraged me to do it. And then you also had someone, because it's very important you have these type of people in your life. Her husband came and motivated her when negativity came. And you continue. And you also have accountability even during the process. So which is very good. How will you encourage someone if they did start? They did a series, and they're in the middle and it's so tough because they're not getting the response like they desire. Right. So they feel like giving up. How will you encourage someone today that's maybe listening?
I think for me, because I got to that point, especially toward the end, became like it's like obstacle after obstacle after obstacle kept popping up. And I'm like, and I'm getting tired and working from home, all these life things were happening in the midst of that. And I started to get discouraged. And if I think about God gave this to me.
Wow.
So if I just do what he designed me to do, even if one person sees it and it blesses them, That's all I needed. Like, it's not about me anymore. It's about the message that God gave you to bless someone else. And because you don't know what can happen to that person after they've seen, whatever your scene or your play or whatever. You don't know what happens in their spirit, but they were designed, God designed them to be where your product was in that moment in the time that they needed. So to look at numbers, that's the world's way of telling us we're successful.
Come on.
But to look at quality and connection, that's God's way of telling us we're successful. So even if it's just one person that you get to in that time frame, be okay with that. Know that that one person is who God put on your path for that day and that time.
And another thing too, I love. I was at a conference. I think I was at I don't know the person's name. I was at a conference. He talked about how he was able to reach that one person, then that one person was able to reach thousands. So you don't know who you call to insert this or win over in order for them to help. And at the end of the day, I love how the Bible talk about that crown is also you'll be also assigned even with that crown.
Right.
Love it. I love it. I'm over here ready to have church. Okay. So with another question for you. When you did have obstacles or different things happening, like in the mid, or because I know you are already at the end now, and you can look at it. Wow, tell us the different obstacles that you had or difficulties that may came. Like for an example, we had Dr. Ayanna. She didn't get the email, or my computer shut down, and I'm using my door. Different stuff that still keep pushing. Tell us different things that you have that prevent you from moving, and you had to keep fighting.
I had to keep fighting that exhaustion. Because I was being pulled, I was still working from home, which you don't really get a separation from it.
Right.
The weight of on top of that, our family stuff. All families have their dynamics. And so there were times when my family needed me more in the midst of this, but I still had to, I couldn't stop, like you said, because we were halfway through, we were 3/4 of the way through. And this had to be finished. And so, there were times where I was almost at a breaking point because I just felt so overwhelmed. And then what I had to do is I had to do self-care. For me, self-care, my husband will tell you, I will pull back emotionally in a minute when things overwhelm me. I have to pull back and I have to watch like old TV shows, something to release some of the pressure in my mind. My faith, of course, every day I was having my prayer time and my devotions with God. So I'm like, you got to help me through this. That's the first and foremost. But I know me, and I know my triggers, and I know when my self-care needed to kick in. And so I would put it on the back burner and let it sit for a few more days than I normally would, because I couldn't handle it at that time until I got myself better.
Oh, I love it. So what you did, you knew to rest. You didn't quit.
Nope.
But you knew to rest. And that's very important, because in the beginning, I'm going to tell you the process so people understand when you start something new, there's going to always be different things that come to discourage you. So those two people that try to discourage you. And then during the middle, you had to fight your own self. So but you had to position yourself in order to rest. And sometimes people think about, for example, if you have a business and you may have and you feel like you in your drought area, you think about what good happened in the past to help you bring yourself out. Or you do what to do to help you cope. Because it's funny, I love this because we just wrote a book on self-care like last year, and I did a tour on that. You knew what to do. You look at old movies. Someone else may go play a basketball game, or someone else may go sing or go to listen to a concert, or someone else may even eat. You do what you have to do in order for you to cope in that moment, to pull you back out in order for you to regroup or rest or take deep breaths. And when you were able to get back in that moment, how was your creativity? Was it, tell us, how was it when you was able to rest and get back?
Yeah, then everything started coming back to me, because when I was starting to feel overwhelmed, my creativity was impacted because I couldn't focus to write something, and it just didn't feel right to me. But once I got myself centered again, then there was joy in writing again, because I didn't have that weight on me. I could go back to enjoying being creative and seeing the dots and seeing where all this connected. And it was a different wind for me.
Wow, I love it. I love it. And as we bring closure to our conversation, Miss Kim, please encourage people that are watching. If they, go ahead. It's all yours. Go for it.
Well, I think for me, faith is the foundation. God is everything. And if your foundation is in him, when you start to feel the beats and the battering and that shaking of your foundation, just go back and rest in him. He's giving you so much. He's giving you an understanding of not only your relationship with him, but your relationship with yourself. And if you keep pushing toward the gifts that he's put in you, like, amazing things can happen. You just have to believe in yourself, even if no one else does. You have to believe in yourself, because God doesn't put mess on this earth. He doesn't put junk on this earth. He put a beautiful creation with amazing gifts that are designed to touch the world. And so you have to have faith and have confidence in that gifting. And that's I was gonna say how much time?
I was just listening to you like, wow, this is really good stuff. And I forgot I wasn't on the screen.
Yeah, you weren't there.
I'm like, wow, this is good stuff. This is good. Wow, this is so good. I just love raw stories. I love the conversation. I love people telling their raw stories in order to change lives. And I want you to know, both you and Dr. Ayanna stories, I believe, encourage people on today.
She was amazing.
So thankful that both of you are here. And hopefully in Women Who Thrive, if you have not seen her wonderful first series, please know it's in there. And maybe if Kimberly don't mind, we can post it again today after we finish this.
Of course, I don't mind. And I'm sorry, I should have said we're going to turn it into a Bible study. So each episode, there's 12 of them, and there's is encapsulated in themselves. And so the next step is to turn them into Bible studies. So connecting scripture and message and empowering word for people.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Look at it. Look at God.
All the time. He always he has a plan bigger than ours. He really does.
He's amazing.
Yep, exactly.
Oh, look, I'm in a bag of chips. Anyway, I am so thankful that you came today. Anything you'd like to do before we close your interview or say?
I just want to say I appreciate you for creating Women Who Thrive, because just to be able to connect with like-minded women means a lot. Yes, it is like even just the empowering messages that you see that when you're having a rough day can just lift you and help you get to that next moment. Because getting through your day actually means getting through your moments first.
I love that.
So those messages that are giving, and to see women just support, because that's really what women are about. We're not the Real Housewives of Atlanta or New Jersey or wherever they are.
Please
don't. Designed to connect with each other and support each other. So thank you for creating Women Who Thrive in order to let us see a reflection of those strong, amazing, powerful female relationships that we are designed to have.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much. First of all, I'm thank God for it, because I know that was a God thing. Because to be honest with you, we weren't even expecting all of this, but I'm happy what came out of it. And I'm happy that we are still growing and we still encouraging women to thrive. And that's what's most important at the end of the day. And God receive all glory for that.
Amen.
So thank you so much, Miss Kimberly. I'm so happy you was here, and I'm excited we are partnered together in Women Who Thrive, and it's an honor. And if you don't know about Women Who Thrive, you will see at the bottom it's www.thrive.com, www or .www.
Right down there.
Yeah, down at the bottom, you will see it there. And we would love to have you. We would love to have you come laugh, come cry, come vent. Just come be yourself. That's all we ask. We want authenticity, because that's who I am. What you get is what you see is what you're going to get. We very raw. But with love and compassion. And most of all, our main goal is build and develop true relationships in order so we can be that accountability, have those type of relationships like Kim mentioned before, that will encourage you to thrive, not to give up, motivate you, as well as give you different opportunities to receive coaching. And right now we do have a free coaching program that's going to start for people that want coaching, want accountability, and never experienced coaching. Please know we're going to have that for you. There is like a monthly fee, like $20-something a month for processing and different things like that, but that's still cheap based on you having a whole good 6 months of coaching. And then after you do go through that program of the 6-month coaching, we have a certification program that we do offer if you want to become a certified life coach, and we connect with international, ICF, which accredited program. And so we have those different opportunities for you. We're so excited. We're excited for Miss Kim. We're excited for Dr. Ayanna. Let's bring her back on. Yeah. I see her in the background. We're so thankful for we're so thankful for both of you. You all are awesome. I enjoy you all.
Well, thank you. I enjoyed it too.
Can I say one thing? I think I told you guys, I don't know. I think I told you guys I was 32.
Yeah.
What's wrong with me? I'm 35. I was like,
I'm 18.
That was a mistake. I was like, what?
It's okay, honey. Sometimes we're nervous. Yeah, nothing. I say thank you, Kim Someone Rowe, for doing that wonderful play. Yes.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I'm gonna check it out.
Thank you.
Yes, we're going well. And we also have some stuff too. Wonderful, Dr. Ayanna. I think I have this, Ayanna. You did put some stuff in the notes that we can roll out. Find that. I thought it was in there. Let's see. I think you gave your different. Let's post that up there for now. All right. I'm going to put that on there. Show that. I think we should. Hopefully you can see it. Do y'all see it? No, we don't see it. Let's see. Let's hide it. What we're trying to do now is show Ayanna's information. Ayanna gave us some information that she wants us to share. We want to share her information. Let's take this out. Okay. I think it's too long, Ayanna. So what we're going to do is, what we would do in Raw Stories, we will post her picture inside of Raw Story and do your bio and put all your information in there. Okay, we're going to do that for
great.
And Women Who Thrive, so people can connect with you, because we want you all to network. And Kim lives in Chicago, and Ayanna, she lives in Trinidad. So you all have 2 more people you all connect with, because that's our main goal too. At the end of the day, is connecting with more people and building your network and having people. So if I go visit Trinidad, I'm sure I gotta find Dr. Ayanna, so we can hang out a little bit. Well, you all are going to bring closure to this wonderful, wonderful Raw Story. I am so thankful that we had this amazing time. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch Raw Stories, where we share true life experience to help you believe anything is possible and help you thrive regardless of your age. I look forward in sharing with you next time, next Tuesday. I'm Dr. Nancia Leath, and I am with you with Raw Stories. God bless. Yeah.